Hello?
Whoosh. Chapter 1, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku was What if Deku had the powers of fish, fruit, mortal, dragon? Where reason why this creation was created, because I was watching the One Piece, the episode that had like Kaido as a big dragon and stuff like that. Yeah, that whole arc, mono arc, should I say. And I was like, you know what? I need to make a what if about it. So I decided to make this what if. And Zuko in this what if wasn't born like a normal human, like you and I and all of us. But instead, he was created from, or so he's an experiment that, yeah. So now, without further ado, let's continue this what if. Or let's start with this what if. So, at the beginning, and I'm adding Dr. Slime. That's his name. So Dr. Slime, him, in this alternate universe, there was the Devil Fruits, basically, the from One Piece. So he decided, saying, "Oh, let me create an army with these creatures." And so then he thought, "Yep, let's do it." So then he decided, and by the way, Todoroki and Bakugo are females in this story. So this is what Todoroki looks like, and this is what Bakugo looks like. Because someone in my last what if video said, "Can you make a what if Deku dates female Bakugo and female Todoroki?" And I say this. And no, I am not trying to be rude, but when you say female Bakugo, sometimes I think of Bakugo's mom. I forget her name, but yeah. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the what if. So, there won't be Azumi in this what if, so yeah. Yeah. So, Dr. Slime was experimenting of how to abstract the powers from Delfords to be created in their own. Because Zoans, like basically mythical Zoan types, have their own will to live thing. So he decided to abstract the power. His first creation, or his first project that he made, was called Project Dragon. And he used his knowledge. He created a machine, and he abstract the fish fruit. If you guys don't know what the fish fruit is, One Piece fish fruit. One Piece fish fruit. Wow. So this one, hun. So don't ask how he obtained it. He just probably had it in storage. So he picks it as he's like, yes, this is a perfect one. Because with this much, this is a starter. The leader of the would be the. So then he abstracted the power from it. And so it, like, he basically created he increases its size, and it has, so he has the big size, or so basically his creation was bigger than, he didn't realize how big it was until the, so he ends up having a more of a, so he had some, or so he did take away, or so Dr. Slime did take away lose the ability to swim weakness, and weak to hockey and the sea prism stones owns. So he's basically, so Zuko can swim underwater. And either in his human form or his dragon form. So yeah. At first he thought it was a failed experiment because with that much, it needs way more energy. But Dr. Slime didn't take into the count of it was a cocoon on the outside. Was basically what I'm trying to say is basically his creation had a cocoon shell on the outside. So, and the inside he had was a monster, or no, a real. So when he threw it away like trash, then the shell breaks into 1,000 pieces, and a human size, like basically, if Kaido was a child, he would have been, or like a toddler, he would have probably been like the size of an average human. So Zuko was born as a toddler. So he doesn't know how to speak proper English. So, yeah. So then he taught himself how to speak. As he did tell himself that he says, brother, sister, mother. And like he says, like he's trying to talk a little bit louder. And yeah, you could hear me loud and clear. So yes. Yes, yes. So yeah, Zuko was basically so he went to so he did taught himself how to read and all that stuff. For being a toddler, that's impressive. So then so he celebrated his birthday by himself. And yeah, then the age of 15 and came around. Zuko, or he gave himself a name of Zuko the Dragon because he saw the letters I, then Z, then U, K, then another U. So, yeah, so he pieced it together and he created his own name for himself, named Zuko the Dragon. So, he did go to school and before, but he goes to now UA and he meets Ochako, Bakugo, or female Bakugo, and female Todoroki. I'll just say their actual names instead of constantly saying female home. So, yeah. So, and Zuko looks like the adult version of Kaido at age of 15. Yeah. And he did practice his training in, like his powers. When he was a toddler, he accessed his dragon form, and his dragon was the same size as a normal building. Like a house, kind. Not very threatening, if I say so myself. So, but now, Zuko, whom basically hangs out with, and it's hard for him to, like, so he basically wrote down every correct answer, like 100% on it. And he was done about 2 seconds faster than anyone. So he was like, should I turn this in to you? Yes, and thank you. Now, come with me and sit right over here. Okay. As he looks up at the him, because he always had to like lean down or look straight down to see where he's stepping. But when he looks up, when he did that, the metal rod on banged his head, denting the, yeah. So then after that, Zuko was pretty much a top tier person. So he goes to you, or so after the, so when he walks into the, like, the gates weren't tall enough. So he tries to, as he looks straight down to see where, and the gate was to his knees. And when he walks, uh, right through them, as the knees, or as the gates broke off the hinges, basically. As everybody's like, oh, crud. We should have made the fence gate a little bit taller for people like him. Maybe next time. Yeah. I think... As he battles against the robots, and let's say he had that big hammer looking thing, the one that Kaido always used. As he swings his weapon, and it caused a massive shockwave or air blast through the entire city, that even the robots were even destroyed. Like they were snapped out of existence from that single swing. And got everyone's like, holy crud. But how does that work? As everybody's wondering about that. Like, how can someone be so strong, just wipe out the entire... As they think we're dead if we got on his bad side. So then he's in class 1A. As Todoroki, I was about to say female Todoroki, tells Zuko that, man, and you're pretty strong, Zuko. Or whoever you are. Call me Zuko, the dragon. And it's my mother, or as I was given that name because of my dragon-like appearance. As everybody's like, really? Yeah. As he's trying to not be so embarrassed. As he shows his hybrid. As everybody's like, holy crud, how did that work? It's my quirk called Dragon. So, it's my power, actually. So, the And sorry if you're hearing a lot of like low tone voice thing because I just watched someone I watched someone that like brought or used one of my cards in the duel, and I'm happy for it. So, yeah. The let's get back into the story before. So, yeah. So Zuko was basically says that, and they're like, man, calling you Zuko, or how about as Bakugo says, how about call you Dragon because your last name. Oh, that's okay with me. Yeah, I like that name. As both female girls really love that name. So, of Dragon. Because they really don't care if Zuko was. So, yeah. So, basically, a time skip to the camp park. And there is going to be something really funny. So, after they arrive and to the camp, a big black bear was coming out of the forest as he's roaring like roar, and he starts charging at the students as they're like, oh crap, it's a black bear, run inside, as they're like running inside, except for Zuko is just standing there confused as the black bear just ran right into his leg thing. As the black bear looks up at him at Zuko's, and when the bear saw him, he just like went from being like to to like runs back where it came. Like basically, they literally ran, or he ran away from Zuko. And Zuko's standing there all confused, like, what just happened? Huh. Well, that's just funny. So then Zuko was basically got praised by everybody. Like, good job, Zuko, or Dragon. You're pretty funny. And don't mean to scare people off. Yeah. So then they go to the spa, or like hot spa thing. And Zuko was like sitting like basically between, or he was on the side of the wall, the boys' side. But the wall could only reach over to his chin, basically underneath his chin. So he could have just turned around and see all those women. But he's a nice guy compared to Manatter, I think, the grapefruit kid, I forget his name. Him. And so the grapefruit kid climbed the wall like in canon, but Zuko use one of his fingers, or actually, you know how like you swat the fly by just flicking it off? Well, Zuko just straight up flicked the grapefruit kid off the wall into a different wall, like on the opposite side of the boys one. And man, it was like a cartoon. Nailed him into a wall type. And he's like, oh, sorry. But at least they're safe from being that. So, everybody, or all those girls, so the boys saw it, and they're like, man, you need to hold back on your little, like, flip thing. Yeah. And I know I skipped to the camp arc, or no, the sports festival arc because, well, let's just say Zuko won all 3 matches because, yeah. And it was kind of boring part, so let's continue. So the girls figured out what was that air blast thing. It was Zuko just straight up flicked the Manhattan. And one of the boys actually said, as they're like, man. Plus, at night, before everyone else goes to bed, Zuko just slept outside. The girls stayed up. And they're talking about, like, him, about Zuko and how cute he is and all that stuff. And Momo actually felt kind of bad because Zuko was sleeping outside because how big he is. So she gets up and walks over to Zuko that was sleeping outside. He was sleeping at a front entrance, first of all. And she tells the rest, how about he should, like, I'll trade a pillow and blankets. Yeah. Because probably a poor her. So then they slowly lift his head up he's a heavy sleeper, so they did not realize how heavy the sleeper he is. So then when Momo created a pillow, puts underneath and puts a blanket, or basically, normally a blanket is like meant for humans, but the Zuko, he needs like a giant cloth, like basically a whatchamacallit. So yeah, Zuko was. So he was sleeping, but sometimes, and he did sleep through the night. But because of his dragon powers, he can also breathe out fire. So what do? They could smell his smoke because of... And no, I'm not talking about him on drugs, basically. Because you know how, like, dragons usually, like, breathe out fire? Yeah, and smoke, like, basically from the fire. As everybody's like, man. As when he sneezed, they're like, oh boy. As Mr. Ozawa gets everyone out of the... As he turns Mr. Zuko on its other side, opposite side, when he sneezed. As it was like a fireball. Yeah. It burnt half of the wood. As he's like... In the mornings, everyone gets up except for Zuko. And Zuko's basically the equivalent of a wall, basically. So, yeah. And his agency thing that he picked was actually the... Everything. Dragon Girl. This one. He basically picked her because yeah. Or actually, he didn't actually know which pro heroes are good for his powers until she showed up to tell Zuko that from this point on, I'll pick you. Or you'll be in my agency, okay? Okay. And, yeah. She was in that outfit. She knows that Zuko has a more of a... she knows that Zuko is a dragon type, just like her. But she can't wait to see what Zuko's actual dragon form looks like. Yeah. All right, big guy, let's see what you got. As she says to him. As the guy looks over, okay, as he swings his bat around, the same one that Kaido uses, he swings it, and a big gust of tornado just formed. And yeah, it was not a small one. No. It was giant size one. Like big as a as the like a it was not a small tornado. It was like a big. As when he puts it over water and he sent it flying. Yeah. The Frog Girls' agency thing got saved by the tornado. Technically, and he says, I'm a pretty big guy, so so then he basically uses his hybrid form to make sure that yeah, he uses all that stuff. So then the camp arc has ended. Now we move on to All Might versus All For One. All Might was down but not out, or actually before, so All Might versus All For One. So All For One, before he prepares his attack, he says, you know what, hey, you know why that, who is Zuko the Dragon's his real name? Or he doesn't actually have a real name. He is the one of the experiments from Dr. Slime. And his name, or his project name, is called Project Dragon. And when everyone heard that Zuko was a experiment, and that I can't believe it. As Zuko's was there, as he says, as Todoroki and Bakugo, Momo and Ochako, everybody's in Class 1A agrees that, or actually, let's say Todoroki says to All For One, and that Zuko, or the dragon, is not an experiment. He's a person. We see him as our own friend, our own family. As inside her head she's blushing because she actually wanted to date him since after they first met during the exam thing. Because that also was the same thing as Bakugo, or female Bakugo, and Momo. So yeah. And so they're like, yeah, we don't care that if he's a he's not a project. As Zuko says, as All For One says, you are a project. You were designed to lead an army of the most powerfulest Delfruits in the universe. But you betray them. You betrayed everyone. Or you used, or the scientists, or no, the scientists used to create you, and you don't have a weakness to anything. So that makes you the leader of them. But why? As All for One says, as Zucker says, why? He threw me out like a piece of garbage without him realizing that this is how I always been. No matter what. As Zucker says, no matter what. That was the past. No one should ever be taking powers from Delfruits without the weakness. As he lifts his hammer up and he says, there's only the people that I care about is all of my class 1A, and everyone. I don't see them as their own separate people. I see them as my own family. I see all mine as my own part of my own family. I don't see him as a hero. I see him as my own family. So yes. So then he activates his transformation into a dragon, and when everyone looks up and sees the head of the dragon, but the dragon was so big that even it made Kaido's dragon look like a toddler or a baby dragon. As everyone was like, holy crud, he can't do that? As everyone was shocked to see his dragon form. As All for One's like, you're powerful, Zuko. But tell me, how powerful are you? So, how powerful are you? And so, when Zuko was about to... So, Zuko actually did use his attack and the fire breath, and it obliterated All for One right off the bat. Like, Kamehameha boom! Yeah. So, yeah. It was so powerful that even she actually didn't... Or when she saw his dragon form, she kind of felt sheepish because she could not believe that someone has a larger dragon quirk. And the dragon form of Zuko was... Remember what I said earlier before? That Zuko was a tall person. Or so, the dragon was taller than a building, right? Well, during the time skip thing, and 215, and now we're on to All Might versus All for One thing. Zuku's entire dragon form was bigger than two cities combined. Yeah. I mean big. As he looks down on All for One and blasts him out of existence, and yeah, All for One did not survive. All the pro heroes and villains were like, they all ran away. And so, yeah. So then the students are like, dang. With that much power, he could have just obliterated the entire city if he wanted to. But no, he focuses his attack on All for One specifically. And he transforms back into a human. As he's like, As he's just tired out. As he goes, like, he has nowhere to go, so he's just, like, he just sleeps. So All Might actually says, you don't need to do that, by the way, Zuku. We have a place for you. And don't worry. As Zuku's is, like, because how big he is, he went down into the bottom of the, like, basically they had a machine set up so that when every time he, like, has those, like, steam thing, like those moments, it would warm up the whole UA and the dorms. So, yeah. So then Todoroki and Bakugo, both of them actually, let's say one day, Momo asked both of them or let's say they were taking a break and they were playing The Truth. So, like, who would, out of the Class 1A, who do you love more? As both Todoroki and Bakugo says, as Zuko, of course, or the dragon. As Momo's eyes lit up like, whoa. So you're saying both of you love Zuko? I'm the same thing, so then both of them, or so all three of them agree. So, yeah. Zuko actually, he wakes up and he's just hanging out with the boys. Then the three girls came and asked him to, like, have a talk with him. As one of the boys says, I think you're probably gonna, and then the question about the craziness. Well, let's see. So then, so he, so they were from far away from hearing distance. So Zuko says, "So what's up?" As Bakugo starts things off with, "I know that you might not know it, but we really like you, Zuko." And so us three, just us three, he wanted to, as Todoroki comes in, finishes the sentence, to to marry him. So basically, they're trying to say like yeah. So Momo is even in it. So yeah, we all three of us are wants to, yeah. So that's kind of surprised Zuko, or the dragon. He never actually had. He never experienced what love before, as he says, sure. And so Zuko, and so he dates all three. And plus, he also then time skip after the overhaul arc, and so then at age of 18, and they both, or all three of them, got married to him. And they all had three separate kids that have their mother's quirks mixed with their their father's powers. So, yeah. So if you guys want me to do more of these what ifs, let me know in the comments below. And yeah. And so their three kids' names is Rangor, Midoriya, or actually, I'm still trying to figure out what their family's name would be. Like, I could have made the custom one that's called Drago. Yeah, so then there would be, instead of calling Todoroki the Shoto Todoroki, her name would have been Todoroki Dragono. Bakugo, yeah. And stuff like that. So, yeah. Do you guys enjoyed this what if? Please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, and do all of that fun stuff. And please let me know in the comments below of who would you choose to make. Like, basically gives me, because I'm thinking about giving different powers of Delphert from One Piece to Zuko. So, because, yeah. And if you're watching this What If on December 15th, please wish me a happy birthday. That's if you're watching this on December 15th. So, peace out, Cub Scouts. Have a good night or day, depending on the time zones. Peace.